Heath, welcome back to the show.
Yep.
I would love to hear you, for those who are just joining us now. We've had another episode where we talked about a lot of your journey, which definitely people should go back and check out because it was very, very insightful in many ways. But why don't you just give a quick little introduction as well for the people who are new to you, new to this episode, who you are, where you're located, what do you do?
Yep.
I know you've got several irons in the fire.
Yep.
So tell us about that.
I'm Heath Besowshek. I am based in Conway, Arkansas. I do a few things. So I'm in real estate. I'm a real estate agent, and I do that in Central Arkansas. And then I own a business called Arkansas Profit Printing. It's print advertising, and I can do that anywhere. And we'll dive.
That's so
that.
fascinating.
But,
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
But we've got some ground to cover here.
Yeah.
So so maybe from there. Yeah, describe for us. I mean, obviously, we can pick this up and look around a little bit. I see you've got your face on here. That's good.
Yeah.
That's part of the story
For sure.
Let's go back and talk about where this idea originally came from.
Yeah.
People can see. It's a full size. What is it? 8.5 by 11.
9 by 12.
No, 9 by 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess definitely bigger than a normal sheet of paper, but good quality. And, I mean, so. I know it was related to your real estate game.
Yes.
So tell us, tell us the story of Arkansas Profit Printing.
Yeah. So as a realtor, I wanted to send out postcards. It seemed like it worked for a lot of agents, and so I was looking into it for myself, and it was just expensive for me to do with how many I needed to send, and you have to be consistent with it, or else it's not going to work. It was just expensive, and I didn't have it in the budget to plan out, a whole campaign. And I figured every other small business is paying the same amount. I mean, it costs the same amount for everyone. And some businesses are completely priced out of it, like smaller mom and pop businesses, coffee shops, things like that. And so I just wanted something that everyone could be a part of. And so splitting it up like this, getting on the biggest, piece of paper that I could send out without having to charge tons of extra. And without it being in an envelope. We can talk about the details of that. But it splits the cost up for everybody. Right. And so it just made a lot of financial sense for me to start it and for other businesses to join in. And from there, it's just it started as just a way to get cheaper advertising for my real estate. And it's just turned into another business that I can get an income from. So
yeah, that's fascinating. So to give us an idea of the scale of this business, at this stage, at one point I know you were working out of your garage, if I recall correctly.
Totally.
I've seen some pictures of that. How many of these flyers do you send out every month or week or however? What's the cadence, I guess, and then maybe what's the volume you're doing right now?
I send these big ones out quarterly. Okay. And I do them in 2 different locations. So I do one in West Little Rock and then one in Conway.
Cool.
We'll get into scaling and
where
more
you're
of that.
Going to go. Yeah.
And so I send out 10,000 of those at a time, and that's about 20 boxes, and it's a couple hundred pounds of paper basically.
Yeah.
So I send out essentially 20,000 a quarter.
Wow.
I also do stuff like some business to business, same concept, shared. Some new mover just goes to people who recently moved into the area. All those are also quarterly. And then I do solo postcards, just one business.
Okay.
And those are fairly sporadic, just depends on what the customer needs.
And I guess the back end of this runs through the Postal Service, I would assume.
Yes.
Like you get on some kind of list, or you're allowed by law to go ahead and walk people through how that was set up and how print marketing is allowed. Because some people probably get a lot of junk mail in their mailbox and they think, I hate this. Why? Probably everyone hates this.
Yeah.
Yet another thing I need to throw away. How does that work with legal and the USPS and how that works?
Yeah, I don't know if you can get on some list to get off of it.
Okay.
I know that. So I fill out all the paperwork to send this out because this goes by, it's called every door direct mail.
Okay.
So it's just the postal route.
Right.
So the postal carrier gets all the stuff, and if it's on the route, they're putting it in the mailbox. There is space on the paperwork that you can omit certain addresses. No one's told me that they hate getting it, and my contact info is plastered all over those things. Right. So, I'd hope that they would tell me if they just despised getting it or
Right,
something like
right.
that. That's the only way that I know of to get out of getting stuff like that.
And as we speak to entrepreneurs, I mean, all of us are I think on the side of like, yeah, marketing is good, and we're excited about this opportunity. But you just know that, I think that would be a common objection to one of your potential clients would be, who reads this stuff anyway?
Totally.
Or who really values it? Most people probably would like hate to throw away another piece of mail. So we'll get there. But in a digital age, why print?
Yeah.
Like why, even for real, like let's go back to the whole question of you doing it for your real estate business.
Yeah.
Why print?
Yeah. There's something about having a tangible, something that you can hold and see and hang on to.
Sure.
That digital ads, because I was looking into digital ads. I was looking into, of course, social media, which I think is great and it's free. I was looking at Google, SEO, all the things, and there is just something about print. It's tangible. They can hold on to it. That I think people are just attracted to, honestly.
Sure.
And in a digital age, I saw a stat that we see, I think, like 3,000 digital ads a day.
Wow.
Like we scroll through that many ads, or on the TV and everything.
Right.
Social media. The average amount of mail in your mailbox a day is like 2 pieces. So the competition is actually very low in the mailbox.
Sure.
So if you're a business wanting to advertise and spend money on advertising, there's just not competition in mailboxes.
Okay.
Of course, there's people who are, if you're a plumber, there's people who they're just going to use the same plumber no matter what.
Right.
But you're not, that's not who you're after. So, and your Google ads are going to the same people too. So, I would rather be in a place where there's less competition.
Right.
And as far as the shared thing too, one thing that I bring up to people, especially as a realtor, if someone's not in the market to buy a house, they're throwing a realtor's postcard away immediately.
Right.
Immediately.
Right.
And the concept with getting multiple people on the card, part of it is that it's got places like Swig, or it's got a coffee shop or a restaurant that really sticks in the homes. I think that, and this is just in general average, not just these, but the average piece of mail stays, on people's counters or just in the home for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they're seeing it multiplies within the home.
Yeah.
Not only one person is seeing it,
Right.
They're showing it to their spouses, or they're showing it to, they might give it to a family member who could use it more than them, or
Right.
all these things. One coupon could be used for a whole family of 5
Wow.
at a restaurant. You
Wow.
know? So it's not just going to one person. Like I send out 10,000 mailers, but it's really hitting 20, 30,000 people.
Right.
And so it just multiplies within the home. And I think that
Fascinating.
me personally being, Gen Z, I think I'm Gen Z.
Yeah.
I see so many ads, and if I see sponsored on the ad, I go
totally.
buy it.
1,000%. Yeah.
Whereas if I get a huge, this is just me personally, not everyone's like this, of course, but, and some people look at ads, so it goes both ways.
Right.
But if I get something in the mail, like I want to hear it out. I almost, there's something about it that I almost want to get something in the mail.
Right. There's something special about getting something in
Yeah.
the mail.
Yeah.
Even if it's a mailer, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this person took the time to be one of my 2 pieces of mail today.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and the amount of times, Heath, that I remember even, we grew up in Maumelle, and I remember we had this island, this countertop, right? And my mom would go out and get the mail or whatever, and maybe wouldn't have time, or something caught her eye and it would sit on the counter, and the boys, us boys, would come in and she'd be cooking or doing whatever, or we'd be doing a project in there, and we sit down, and the number of times that thing would get picked up in kind of a bored way of like, I don't really know what else I'm doing right now. Let me look at this, it's totally true.
Yeah.
I never thought about that before. So that's really good for people to understand that, there is, you think that there's a multiplying effect on social media, which there is, but like there can be a similarly multiplying effect, and maybe at an affordable cost too, of inside people's homes. So it's interesting, especially for people who don't know how to throw things away, or or
there's
just
some
clutter.
hoarders out there
The
for
clutter
sure.
freaks, or So that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let's talk about, some results that you've gotten from this. What are some of your favorite success stories of, maybe even your own business, but then others? I mean, give us some examples.
So my favorite success story is Stephen Reynolds.
Okay.
He's a lender here in Conway. Well, he's in Little Rock, but he's a mortgage lender.
Okay.
And the very first one that I sent out, it was sent out to West Little Rock. And he called me a few days after they were sent out and said, "Hey, I think that I got the biggest deal that I've ever done because of it."
Okay.
There was a guy that he had gotten a hold of previously about refinancing his house. And they were in talks a little bit, like, "Hey, when do you want to talk?" Just didn't work out. And eventually the guy just ghosted Steven. He followed up, 5 times and never heard back.
Okay.
And that guy got one of my mailers and called Steven up and said, "Hey, I'm ready to go. I got your mailer. I'm ready to go." And it was like it was $1 million refinance.
Right.
And so it was the biggest one that Steven is like well respected in the real estate community. Like, he's a great lender. He does a lot of business, and it was the biggest one he's ever done.
Wow.
And so that's one, part of all advertising, social media included, but it's just such a cheap way to add a touch point into your pipelines.
Mm-hmm.
And this touch point was the one that kind of pushed him to work with Steven.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Did I see another story recently where you had talked about a landscaping company that had gotten like 7 new clients, or I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
there was a landscaping company. I sent one out early. That was early in the year, approaching. I think it was in spring, so it was like approaching the new season.
Right.
So it was perfect. It was great timing for them, and they got a bunch of new clients. I think it was 7 new clients, and one thing that I tell people about that is, because you got to consider this with all of your marketing, but considering your ROI, when you look at it, assuming he charged $50 a yard, which I think is pretty standard around here, you'd think, okay, he made $350, he spent $200, like, it's a good return, but do I want to keep doing that? In reality, those people are paying you more than once. I mean, they're paying you 8 to 12 times a year, and they're going to do the same thing next year, and they're going to call you to rake their leaves and scrape the snow off their driveway, all those things. And so it's not, it was almost 100% return, but it's really like that one was in the thousands, ROI. So that was a huge one as well, and I loved that one too.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I love how, this is truly giving a vision for small business owners, especially in this area, but it'd be curious. I'm excited to hear about your visions for the future. It's giving a vision for what print marketing can do for them, but then I guess, honestly, you're highlighting an opportunity in the market as a whole for people who are in other cities as well, young entrepreneurs who are potentially looking at this and going, wow, we don't have much mail in our mailboxes either. Seems like a pervasive problem across our country right now. We only get 1 to 2 pieces of mail per day.
We need to get this up.
More mail. We want more mail. Not just your 87-year-old grandma wants more mail. Gen Z wants more mail.
Yes.
Like that's the new. It's interesting to think that way. But okay, so how would you describe, for those small businesses out there, small to mid-size, I don't know how, again, your range, but how would you describe, in this area at least, we'll start here, what's your ideal client profile like? Who's going to end up on one of these? Who's going to need that?
Yeah, I work with a lot of home service businesses, HVAC, power washing, roofers, all those sort of things. Mostly because those are high ticket industries. If someone needs to replace an HVAC, they're making thousands of dollars.
Right.
Realtors. I'm a realtor. One call will pay for. On this kind of thing, it'll pay for years of advertising, which is crazy. You know, like I charge essentially $2,400 a year, and so one sale pays for the entire year.
Right.
And so home services, professionals in real estate, and then food and beverage places on this stuff works really well. Just because it's so high volume, a lot of people use them.
It's just bringing awareness. So how often do people just put a advertisement versus like an actual coupon or something on they can bring in?
Yeah, this goes into like marketing strategy. I always encourage when I'm, kind of onboarding people into it, I always encourage some sort of offer.
Sure.
You've got to incentivize your audience to call you or to go in or whatever. So I always encourage some sort of offer. It doesn't have to be a coupon, but you've got to give them some reason to call you, whether it's a free consultation or you just got to make it easy for them to want to call you.
Sure. Okay. What would you say about the different placements on these cards? Like obviously there's bigger ones I'm seeing at the bottom. There's ones at the top. Does that really have any bearing on success rates or anything that you've seen related to that? Obviously.
Honestly, I don't think so.
Okay.
So this is a front and back, and it goes in the mail technically postage side up, and it goes in like this.
Okay, sure.
And so they kind of fold it taco style into it.
Yep.
There's no envelopes or anything, like it just goes straight in like that, so they don't have to open anything to see what they get. And everyone flips it. I mean, no one's just looking at it. I mean, there's a few people who do that, but the vast majority of people are looking at both sides, and so I don't think the side matters. If anything, maybe the size matters. But again, like Steven, I've tracked their QR codes.
Okay.
I mean, he's gotten pre-approvals that they're going to buy a house with him. I need to track like his revenue with it, but I mean, he's got people who've just scanned the QR code and they've went through his full application and they're like ready to go. And
wow,
like, which is just crazy. That doesn't really happen with lenders. Usually they're referred from agents or something. But like Steven's gotten business. I mean, I think everyone here got business from it. But and so like I don't think, if anything, it's the size that does it. But part of it is just, do you have a good offer? Like, are you designing the postcard well, and where are you sending it? Those sort of things.
Let's talk about design.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to know how much of that you handle and how much of that you ask someone to provide some type of file that you can just throw on the postcard.
Yeah.
What's all wrapped up into your offer when it comes to someone like Steven? How much does he need to give you to create a great advertisement?
Yeah. So for the price that I charge, which is like $500-600 for a normal thing like that.
That's 1 quarter's worth? Okay.
I do all of it. Okay. So I'd handle all of the design, all of the, obviously all the I pay for postage.
Sure.
And do all the paperwork and have it print, all that stuff.
Right.
All that they give me is their logos, a high quality logo.
Okay.
And whatever offer they want to provide. So trying to think, like R&M Eatery, they gave me their logo, and then they said they'll do 20% off of their ticket.
Right.
I can't decide that for them, obviously, and so they just need to provide that to me, and I design the rest of it.
Okay.
And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll give me, some inspiration as far as like what they want stuff to look like or something like
color
that.
Scheme
But for the most part, I'm keeping it consistent with their brand.
Sure.
And they're very simple because of it's shared. You got to keep them simple.
Right.
And so that's why I actually prefer to design them myself, because I don't want people to throw tons of text onto a small advertisement.
Right.
I know what size like is readable on these, and so I actually prefer to do the work myself.
Yep.
I do absolutely give them the option. Like if they have someone in-house, I'll just tell them the dimensions and they'll get me something.
Got it. So, okay. Yeah.
But most people just have me design it.
That's
it's
awesome.
free, so I'm like, why? Why not?
Right. Yeah. 100%. No, that's great. Okay. So what have been the ways that you have been able to get your name out here for this service? I put the question down, marketing your marketing, if you will. You know, like how has that been to get these cards filled up?
Yeah. So it's interesting that while I'm a print marketing business, and I fully believe, part of why I started this, there's so many reasons why I believe in this. One is that, first off, local businesses underutilize direct mail 100%.
Right.
I mean, the direct mail you get are from huge corporations,
right.
and there's a reason that they're sending it. It's because it works. And the second one is that I believe that you need more than one medium for marketing. And so I've gotten business from just putting something on my postcards that say, do you want on the next one? Like, call me.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So I've sold spots through that. I post on social media about it, some behind the scenes stuff. I've got a official, business page that people follow. So I've gotten business from that. I'm huge into networking, so I go to all the networking events, and I'm in BNI. BNI does very well for me, and I do a lot of cold outreach, like just businesses that I want to work with. Right. I'll just message them on Facebook, or I'll find someone in marketing or whatever contact I need.
Sure.
And I'll just reach out cold and generate business that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could imagine that, I guess I'm curious for a market like Conway or the surrounding area where you're throwing out, what's the max number of, like, are you limiting yourself to one postcard, if you will, sent 20,000 times every quarter, or could you would you envision a world in which you could do, I mean, it would probably be, you'd have to switch up the frequency so people are not, not getting 3 of those in their mailbox the same day, right? Yeah. But in theory, you could do one a month and have a completely different postcard each one of those months, right? And people are getting it now on a more increased frequency, but yet they're getting represented by, a whole nother 15, 20 businesses, right? That next month.
Absolutely.
Do you see that in the cards for the future?
I think so.
Yeah. Right now, it's just the one.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So right now, in Conway at least, we've got between 60 and 80,000, depending on if college students are here.
Right.
And I just send out 10,000.
Right.
In Little Rock, there's about 200,000 people there.
Right.
And so I would like to send at least 2 or 3 cards per quarter in different locations. So I send one to West Little Rock. I want to go to the Heights and the Hillcrest. I want to go to Soma, South Main. It's an up-and-coming area that I love. So I do want to send multiple in one city.
Right.
And I'll probably do that in Conway too. I think that there's plenty of room for it. The one thing that I look at is, me being a realtor, I know this, at least in Little Rock and Conway, of where people own their homes. And so because I have so many home services on my cards, I want to send them to places that people own their homes, because otherwise they can't use it. So that's one thing I do take into consideration when I'm picking where I'm sending them out. But yeah, I would absolutely do different locations in the same city, or even different mailers like every month. I would even do the same businesses each month.
Right.
It's just a matter of business budgets, obviously, and I guess just timing. It's just hard to. I'm not at a place where I have the capacity to do that much, honestly.
Totally, yeah.
It takes a lot of work to sell spots, and it takes a lot of work to get them sent out and designed and all that. So I honestly only have time to do a few things at a time, and that's why I do them quarterly.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Who would you say are your competitors right now, or if there are any in the area? And then how do you differentiate yourself from those folks?
There's tons of print companies that will send out mail, technically.
Okay.
I would say, and there's a thing called Red Door. It's basically like a booklet, a coupon booklet. I think that my competitive edge comes down to strategy. I know what works on the postcards, and so print companies who they happen to send out and make direct mail. They don't know how to design them. They don't know anything about where to send them. They don't know anything about the audience that you're sending them to.
Sure.
I do all that work for you.
I mean, it's unique that you're doing both the real estate because you're boots on the ground in these neighborhoods too.
Totally.
I mean, you've walked these streets like straight up.
Yes. And so I just know, I mean, it's not just printing and sending something out. It's like I know this is to grow a business.
Totally.
And so I think that's part of it. And part of this is like, this is kind of a mix between like just pure marketing and then like, 501 Life magazine. It's kind of in the middle of that.
Right.
Like 501 Life is more community building, like exposure, etc. Like it's not really meant to drum up a ton of business. Sure. Just because there's pages you got to flip through, you got to rely on people flipping to your page and calling you. There's no offers really. Like it's just advertising. Right. And then there's like pure marketing, which is probably more like a solo postcard. Okay. It's just more expensive, and it's designed to get like tons and tons of results. This is kind of in between. Like I do want you to get results, so that's why I want people to put offers, and that's why I design them and why I send them to certain places. But also, it's tons of exposure. Right. It goes out to tens of thousands of people at a time. And so that's kind of one of my competitive advantages too. Okay. And I'm the one putting in all the work to get everyone together to do it. There's 15 businesses. 15 businesses willing to pay, hundreds of dollars a quarter to send it out. And so I'm doing all the work to do it. And so print companies, I mean, first off, they just don't have time to do that. And they don't have the strategy that I do to make them good. Yeah. So. Okay.
No, that's fascinating for sure. We're talking marketing. We're talking, obviously a specific genre of marketing, but marketing in general, obviously there's a lot of content out there. It has been something that you've had to do, both from this business perspective, but just being a realtor. Yeah. Maybe what are some good resources that you've come across for people who are maybe in sales, maybe in marketing, maybe in that area of generating attention or generating interest in a brand, an idea, a concept, a business? What are some good, social media influencers count, books, podcasts, conferences? Yeah. What has impacted you?
I've probably gotten the most influence from influencers on social media. Right. Gary Vee, I've gotten a lot of good stuff. He's got a lot of good stuff to say. I was kind of off of him for a while because he was into NFTs. I'm like, I'm kind of out on that. But he's sort of gotten back into more marketing and that sort of thing. And so I love his stuff. He's built a huge business for a reason. So Alex Hormozy, I love him. He's super practical, and he will tell it like it is. Like he'll tell you exactly what to do. He says, reach out to 100 people a day and you'll do well. Right. Type of thing. Right.
It's a volume game.
Yes. Yeah. So I love both of those guys. And then there's a guy, I don't know how big his audience is. His name's like Higher Up Wellness. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Yes.
Just started following him actually recently.
Yes. Love his stuff. I kind of get my social media inspiration just from like stuff like his style. Right. Just, talking head sort of videos. I got it from him, and he talks about growing on social. He's kind of my guy that I go to for like social media stuff.
Have you ever thought about doing one of the quote unquote, they're kind of taking the internet by storm, I feel like, but the Higher Up Wellness Challenge of doing the 30-day, 60-second clips every day? I have
thought about it.
Okay.
I've
also thought about that. Yeah. I might do it too.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do it at the same time.
I was going to say, let's do it.
Yeah. 60 days. Yeah. That 60 days, 60, or maybe it's 30 days, I forget. Yeah. Some people do 100 days, which is wild. Yeah. But, it's all this idea of minimizing your vocal crutches, minimizing, your weird twitches and, weird syncretisms that you do on camera. Yes. And by the end of it, you see the progress, and other people begin to kind of follow along with that too. So you end up sometimes building a following through that, which is really cool.
I got a text in between our episodes of a guy who does real estate media. He's my go-to photographer. And he said he saw my last video that I posted yesterday, and he said he's going to start doing talking head videos because of watching me. Yeah. And so I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like, because all my followers, like, I don't have any random it's not a following, it's just my friends. Right. And so hearing that just from friends.
Isn't that the best feeling?
Yes, talking to you about it, talking to other friends about it. And first off, they like my videos, which is super awesome, you know?
Right.
And that's been huge for me. Like, it's so encouraging, like hearing that stuff. It rocks.
That's awesome.
And I'd say as far as like the influencing goes, I haven't read a ton of books that have like really shaped how I do my marketing, but on social media, to me, I find people who I like their style, I like what they talk about, and there is a book called Steal Like an Artist, I think.
Okay.
I think it's called Steal Like an Artist. And it's essentially, like, I see higher up wellness stuff.
Right.
He's talking about fitness and social media.
Right.
I'll take the same style of it
because
I like his style and it obviously works.
Totally.
Just talking straight forward and right at the camera, no crazy stuff.
Yep.
And I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So,
right.
Yeah, I would just say find stuff that you like to consume and sort of replicate after that and into your own style. So.
Wow, yeah, it is encouraging to come across others who feel similarly and are also willing to take that leap, because it's a very much it is a willingness to be in the arena as opposed to be a spectator, you know, and it is putting yourself out there like nothing else. Talk about insecurities that come up to the surface with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like
it's terrifying.
And for those out there who are thinking about it, it's like, I think, the time will be the test of time for both of us as to where we end up on that, and then there's various reasons why we would do it or not, obviously for my life, I would say that at least, but it's an opportunity, and it's an untapped opportunity, as with many entrepreneurial ventures, you don't know what you're missing until you do it, and getting out there and just doing something, try it. The worst that can happen is you learn, which is a wild thought for so many of us who are perfectionists by nature or, whatever. But that's been super encouraging through the journey for me too. Just throw stuff out there and see what sticks. So that's cool. Okay. So let's talk about what's next for the business. We talked about some obviously thinking about iterating on your current markets, iterating on your current opportunities here in the Central Arkansas area. But then you dropped this bomb at the beginning of the episode about, doing it in other cities. Let's talk about that. Where can you do this? And maybe even, it's interesting that people will be listening to this from other cities too. And if they have some extra margin around the edges, for them to consider what could this look like in their own town. There's a million small towns, where this could be possible, if you consider Conway a small town. But anywhere with a, 60,000 plus population, is fair game on this.
100%.
Easy.
100%.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to do it, so I can do, especially, solo mailers, it's just the post office, so I just send it out and it goes where it needs to go.
Okay, cool.
That's easy. These are a little different because I have to send it, I have to send them locally, and I have to be there to physically, drop off everything. So I'm kind of limited to, I could pay someone to do it for me and all that stuff. It's just not something I want to do right now with the shared.
Right. So clarify that for me. The difference between a solo mailer being remote or you could do it pretty easily. Is that because you're using a third party to send all that stuff out?
Yeah. So with targeted with other mailers that are solo, I can just have someone send them out for me. Okay. And with these, I just have to do them.
You have to design
myself.
Them. That's the reason, or it's design.
Yeah, it's because I have to drop it off at the local post office with these, and I think it's because of the type of postage. That it is. It's getting into nitty gritty stuff, but the type of postage it is, I have to do the drop off. I could pay someone to drop it off for me, but with the solo mailers, I just pay someone to do it for me. I definitely delegate that, especially if it's out of. Obviously, if it's out of town, I'm not going to do that myself. And with certain types of mailings, I don't need to drop it off at the local post office. I can drop it off at mine, and they will send it out wherever it needs to go in America. You know? So that's kind of how. I didn't explain that very well, but that's how that works.
So what's the future for a business like this for you? How could would you hire staff? Would you how far could you scale this thing?
So for me, I want to do it everywhere that I can locally. So I have probably probably like 5 to 7 different places that I would like to
Expand
locally.
into, yeah.
Yeah, and some of them are just like doing more than one in Little Rock or Conway. And then I would really like to do it in NWA. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think it would work so well in NWA.
Yeah.
It would crush up there, I think.
Yep.
And again, quarterly, just because that's the easiest thing for me to do. I'd probably pay someone to deliver them to Northwest Arkansas too.
Right.
I've got a younger sibling that I could just pay him $100 and quick drive back, pay for their gas, and then some a little bit. So it wouldn't be an issue for me because I can just a lot of sales I can just do sort of on social media or outreach, whatever. So the sales is the hardest part, but I think if I get some consistency and some systems in place, I'm fine.
Okay.
And so immediate next steps is just keeping the quarterly. It's the end of the year. I'm sending one more out this year, and then at the start of next year, I'm going to try to. I would like to start selling them all in one, and so instead of selling one-off spots each quarter, just saying, hey, just buy the whole year. You don't have to pay for it all right
Obviously,
now,
yeah.
but just pay $200 a month, which
Right.
breaks down to what I charge per quarter.
Sure.
And you get 40,000 postcards a year and 80,000 impressions because of the whole multiplying effect we talked about, and just doing it that way. That would free up so much time for me if I could just. I mean, if I just spent January selling the whole year, like that would be huge for me, and that would allow me to go to NWA and these other places. So that would be the first thing, and then eventually once I get there, doing them, bi-monthly, and then every month.
Yeah.
From there, and then there's other add-ons like same concept with new movers and business, like doing the same exact thing, just with this. These are, just higher revenue. So I just want to focus on these, but I'll absolutely add those other things in to that as well.
Do you have a waiting list, or people can get on before the end of the year if they want to? Is that how's that work?
For
What's your pipeline like?
West Little Rock, I kind of do.
Okay.
I haven't started that one yet. I'm about to, so they can. And then Conway we're ready to go. So anyone who wants on, they can. They can ask about it for sure.
Where can people get in touch with you on this?
Yeah, social media is probably the best way. I don't want to give out my phone number.
Oh,
necessarily.
Absolutely. Of course.
It's easy to find.
Right.
But just for the sake of sharing it online, social media is the best way. It's just my name, Heath Besowshek.
Cool.
So
and they can DM you on there and that type of thing. Okay. Very nice. Well, this has been a great conversation, Heath.
It was fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll look forward to the next time.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.